Welcome to Small Lathe. Welcome to Small Lathe. This is a small hydrodynamic mold for cement and sintered materials for a friend. Basically speaking, you want design that allows the flow of water or air using water or other liquids in his experiments flow through an orifice, which is this 2.5 millimeter, and you got a 90-degree internal cone directing the water and a 30-degree external sort of cone water jet coming out of this area here, just rushing out. And basically he's thinking of sintering, meaning pressing material and just heating these up to form the shape here that you see. And he needs some sort of a mold. So this is it. This is a mold for hydrodynamic nozzle, basically, or something like that. And the idea is this: you're using either epoxy or whatever you like, cement, Play-Doh-like cement, which is sort of a mushy cement, not exactly flowing cement. And you just put a small chunk in there. You can compress it either by hand using a tool or a small press or something like that, and get it in. And that's it. Basically, you got the shape. You're taking the mold out, taking the straw out, and basically speaking, you're done. You just let it harden, or you can actually let it harden in the mold. If it takes a few minutes, and once you're done, you can take it out, cut the straw off, and you're ready to go for another run. So let's get to it. So we have some 10 millimeter internal tubing. We're going to clamp it not too hard. Don't want to crush the tube. I just want it to be held properly. Right, and I'm going to ream up to here because this tube is no longer round. It's been squished ever so lightly. So I'm going to ream up to here and then switch it. We'll have to see what we see and get what we get. Right. So let's start by reaming this because I have no idea what this Chinese reamer will do. And let's get to it. It's gonna be fun. Put plenty of cotton oil there. And let's see what we can do. Let's take this out, and that's what you call a baby's bottom smooth. Really nice. So that's what reamers do. Basically, they take any uneven part or spirally track left by the drill bit, and they give you a really smooth path. Alright, so that's one done. That's one thing. Already off camera I've made these. I've also taken this. This is another piece of my scrap metal, but I need an angle. And this angle needs to be 30 degrees, as accurate as I can get it. And this has to be trimmed down so it can fit inside the straw, which is so, and comes my compounds rest. Let's put it in. These are angle blocks, and you can have from 1 degree to 30 degrees. That's going to be very cool. So let's start with this thing. secure it over here. Now you remember I said we need a 30-degree angle. This means this is a 30-degree angle. But in order to turn a 30-degree angle, I need a 15-degree angle, or a 15-degree half angle, because we're cutting half of this, not the entire angle. By cutting this half gets ready-made, basically speaking. So we come to a second small issue. We don't have a referencing surface, because this is the most raised area over here. So I can stick it like that. Let's assume we want something, but how do I reference to this? I can't really refer to it. I'm going to assume this ruler is parallel, roughly speaking. This is turned down and it's fairly parallel to the rest of the body. So if I try and close this, referencing to this and locking the angle. And now we're at exactly, well, roughly, but fairly good, I'd say. Okay, it's a nice, fairly smooth. I'm definitely pleased with that. Let's measure it. Now, well, I don't think this is a perfect finish on one hand, and I don't want to get to the mirror sort of mirror finish step. I think this is good. I think this is pretty good. Now this is 9.5 millimeter on the outside, so around the inside, and this is 9. So we got a slick fit for casting cement. It's going to do just wonderfully. So let's mark our 11 millimeter distance. Actually give it about 12. I don't mind if we get a little bit of a shoulder there. And there we go. It goes like this. Looks good to me. This is a non-crucial measurement, so don't worry about it. Let's turn some aluminum. Not touching anything. I think we're good to go. Even if we get to the center, we're still not touching anything. Centered. Even beyond center, we're not touching anything. That's nice. We got some clearance there. There we go. 30 degree. Now that is what I call a miracle, making a cone without having to break the concentricity of the lathe. Really, really nice. Really happy with it. And we got one more step we really have to do before we release it and remake that shoulder. And I'm going to make a 5mm deep shoulder, so it's going to be fine. And the only one thing we need to do is, basically speaking, we need to drill a hole. Now I'm not going to release it before we do that because, there we go, because I want the hole concentric to the nozzle, to the cone, basically speaking. Okay, let's try WD-40. I just sprayed some into this container and I really hate the smell. Oh, that's life. Let's get that chip out of there. Thank you. Put a dab there, put a dab there. Let's see how it cuts. Surprisingly a lot better, but not that much. Okay, so we got an 18mm deep shaft in there now. We don't need more than that. That's all there is to it. That's a 2.5mm base. So we got a 0.25mm rim. That's about it for now. One more thing we need to do. Get that off. Little piece of aluminum. Looks really nice. I'm gonna get a piece of paper here and give it a nice clean up. Very, very smooth to touch. Let's try and install this. Goes up, but very, very. So you see it's actually flexing to contain it. And if this goes up, we're good to go. Yes, it does. Haha. How do we go to this one? You need to turn this 45 degrees. Okay, we have a small malfunction. Intercept this thing. Okay. Yeah, the flat's over there. Again, we need to tighten that screw. So this came loose, and I need to tighten the locking screw, as you can see over there. There we go, found one. Well, I think we got that locked.